Okay, so, yeah, smoking a cigarette, having a fucking beer. I tend to work late sometimes, and I'll follow along on my phone as to what's really going on here, there, and other places. And it's not until I get home, get a chance to relax, that I actually have an opportunity to do a video or actually kind of put my thoughts into some sort of order. But there's something that kind of jumped out at me earlier when I was reading and didn't have the ability to make this. And this is from a guy who goes by Apex Rex, I believe. And he makes the statement, "I've never heard an atheist tackle the subject of the origin of the universal belief in right and wrong." First off, why would an atheist be required to tackle that subject? Seems like something out of the purvey of the idea of an atheist. An atheist just doesn't believe in God. It doesn't automatically make them a commentator on morals or the origin of life or evolution or anything else. It just means they don't believe in your God. But we go on to talk about the origin of the universal belief in right and wrong. All people have this. Well, if that's the case, and you're a moral person, and all people share this universal belief in right and wrong, then you must obviously believe that cannibalism is right, because there are groups of people who tapped into that universal idea of right and wrong, believe that's right. So you yourself must be a cannibal, or at the very least supportive of that moral stance. But he goes on to say, I bring it up in talking about atheism because atheism is so illogical. Atheism says, I don't want to answer that question. What question? There's only one thing atheism addresses. I don't believe in God, or gods, or goddesses, or any other supernatural, mythological being you care to throw in the mix. Don't believe in them. That's the only question addressed by atheism. But goes on to say, and then calls it being neutral. I never claimed that being an atheist meant I was neutral. I certainly do not believe in any god or gods. That's not a neutral standpoint. That's a pretty solid standpoint. But you go on. You sound foolish. Everybody knows it's what you believe, but you call it not believing. You believe in not believing. It's nonsensical. So, let me read that again. You believe in not believing. It's nonsensical. And you say this because I don't believe in your God. Here's a question for you. Do you believe in the Greek gods? Do you believe in Zeus, Aphrodite? How about the Norse gods? Do you believe in Loki, Odin? The Celtic gods, the Tuatha De Danann? Do you believe in Nual of the Nine Arms? And if you don't, is that you believing and not believing, or is that you just not believing in these things because there's no reason to? There's no evidence to convince you that these things are real. That's the same tact I take with your Jesus, your Judeo-Christian belief system. It's no different. It really isn't. Why you think it's different, that's a question I'm still struggling with. So, I guess it all comes down to a very basic misunderstanding. I'm not claiming any positive belief with atheism. I'm not. I'm saying I don't believe in God. Now, if you ask me the reasons, it's because I don't see any reason to believe in God. If you ask me why I don't believe in Santa Claus, I'll say the same thing, because I don't see any reason to believe in Santa Claus. However, if I was to turn the tables and ask you why you don't believe in Santa Claus, you would probably say, because I don't see any reason to believe in him. And then when I asked you, why do you believe in Jesus, suddenly it becomes a matter of faith. And suddenly it becomes something that if I disagree with, it's me being nonsensical, but I'm applying the same exact logic that you apply when you don't believe in the Tooth Fairy, or the Easter Bunny, or... And this isn't the first video I've made on this subject of the double standard when talking about religion. It's very easy for most people to accept non-belief in leprechauns, non-belief in invisible unicorns. If I was to walk up to you and say, I have a talking elephant that shits golden eggs, you would say to me, prove it. But I wouldn't then turn around and say, oh, you come from a culture of believing and not believing. No, it would be a reasonable request. I made a pretty outrageous claim of a talking elephant shitting golden eggs. Pretty unreasonable. You are completely right to ask for proof. And if you don't receive it, you're completely right in not believing it. So, why is that different for your God? Why? Just one good reason is all I'm really looking for. That's all.